So the job of today is to get a socket in the middle of this chimney breast. Basically, they're going to be putting a TV on that wall, so you want to be able to power it and put a socket on there. So my idea is to get it to the centre of this chimney breast, because it will hide it wherever the TV is going. It'll be behind it, so you'll be able to mount the TV, put the socket up there, and it will look seamless. So now I've marked the centre of the wall. Basically got to get the socket nice and level and mark around there, because it's going to want chasing out, because you can't put a surface mount box on there because the TV won't fix back. I don't think anyway. It's going to be a nice idea to put a double socket recessed into the wall, so then it will just be nice and tidy, because they're going to be plastering anyway. But for the cables, I'm going to go straight through, and this is where I'm chasing up the side of the wall. So this is going to be some precision drilling, basically, to get through at an angle, to go under here and pick it up with that double socket, which is on the ring main. So let's get cracking. So to start my pilot hole, this is about, I don't know, a foot long, maybe 2 foot long, this drill bit. I'm just going to go in at a bit of an angle to start with, so I can get it started to know where my drill bit is going to go through. And it's going to go through red brick, so we're going to give it a good drill to get it in there, just to start the hole before I put the long bit on to go straight through. And then I'm going to get my super duper long drill bit. This is the small bit. This is a 12mm SDS bit, just to get the pilot hole sort of started, so I can go straight through. Look at that. It's gone at an angle. Nice straight through there. I'm going to show you here at my precision drilling. I marked out where I wanted to come, and look at that. Spot on. That was basically a guess. You get a feeling of your experience of what angle you got to go at. So now I'm going to open it up to a 25mm hole, or a 20mm hole, I think this was, to get it through, so I can get a decent 2.5 cables through that hole that will feed the socket and keep it on the ring main. I could have done it in a radial, yes, and just put a 2.5 cable up there where I spurred off of the ring. But when it's easy and I can do it, I like to keep any socket that I put in on the ring main. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drill the hole out a little bit bigger, where I can get 2.5 cables through there to keep it on the ring. So basically all the sockets in this room are on the ring main. As you can see, it's a little bit tough to get through there, but keeping it nice and steady and letting the drill do its job. I'm not putting too much pressure on it, because it will just burn the drill bit out. So let it drill nice and steady. It will go eventually nice and slowly, getting through there to get a 20mm hole all the way to where I've drilled out through the other side of the wall, where I can bring my cables up and feed that socket. And whenever I'm drilling a 20mm hole, I like to give it a little bit, because there's debris and stuff that can fall in between the bricks and stop the drill bit going through. So yes, I've come out perfectly, and that'll be spot on for my 2 cables to go in. Now, of course, I want to chase the box out. And chasing the box out with a hammer and a chisel, it does take a little while. You want to get it nice and neat. You've got to smash it in there. It will take some time, basically, with a hammer and chisel. Look at that, red brick. It's going to be a nightmare to chase all that through there, even with a claw hammer, just to smash it in. And the plastering will make good. It just takes time. So obviously, I've got a new plan for this. It's going to take flipping ages. And my plan is getting my Metabo chaser out. This Metabo chaser I bought a little while ago, because they are fantastic bits of kit and I saw everyone using them, but I'd never got a chance to use it. I haven't done a rewire in a house for, I don't know, a couple of months, so I didn't get a chance to use it. So this is my chance to use my new Metabo chaser, with the Hoover of course as well, because I want it to be as less mess. So we'll get my Hoover plugged in. I want to see how this works. I want to see how easy and efficient it makes my life, because chasing out is a bummer. I hate it, it's boring, but it's got to be done. So now I'm going to use my 3 blades to chase out this socket. And yeah, I forgot to plug the Hoover in to start with. So let's get the Hoover plugged in, so then it'll pull the dust as well, so it makes less mess in people's properties. The less mess you have to clean up is always better. Because electricians, we know, we do not like cleaning up. It's boring if we do it at all, really. But I found that this chaser, it does still make a bit of dust. I don't know if I'm using it right, but it's pushing out the dust at the other end. The Hoover's on, it should be sucking it in, and it does suck in the amount of dust that I'm using, because yeah, I checked the Hoover and it did have a lot of dust in there. but it still made a little bit of dust. You can never get it perfect unless you've got a suction bit round you where you can pull out all the dust in the area that you're working in. You're always going to get a little bit of dust. Look, it's popping it out there. It's going to make a little bit of a mess, unfortunately. And what I found with this chaser, I think there is a bit of a skill to using it. I think maybe I cut the box out a little bit deep. I did make too big a hole. The plasters will cover it up, not a problem. But I didn't have the blade set deep enough to start with. Look, that box it sits in there, but just not perfect. So what I've got to do is adjust the blades on the chaser. And this, I watched a video how to sort this out as well, because it confused me a little bit. You've got to adjust the blades to a certain depth. I wanted to go in at a 35mm to get that 35mm box in, because you don't know whether they're going to put a USB socket in there. So I like to put 35mm knockout boxes in a wall if I'm going to chase it in, and they're going to do it once, do the job once, do it properly, because they never have to come back later date to have more room inside that box. So I had to adjust it a little bit and make that hole just that little bit deeper. And then just to double check as well when I'm done with that one is put the box in, and it fits in there perfect. So that is where my box is going to be mounted, and I might tidy it up a little bit just to get a nice flow for where the cables are going to go into that hole that I've drilled to the side of the wall. And now this is another proper test that I'm trying out with my new chaser, is to go up the wall. I want to do a nice vertical chase to obviously put this cables inside of a bit of oval trunking that will fit in there nice and neat. So I'm going at a bit of an angle, because this chaser's got like rollers on the front, so you can roll it straight up the wall. And interestingly enough, it's quite tough. You've got to have a decent bit of stamina to keep the pressure on, to keep that chaser going up. Yeah, if you're doing a whole house, it's going to be a good workout, but the finished result, as you'll see, is a lot better than you do knocking it out with your SDS drill. And then I thought, why as I've got the hoover there, it would be a good idea just to hoover up a bit of the mess that I've made with the dust, because then if it knocks out, it'll knock it out nice and neat, because I want to get my oval trunking inside that chase to fit perfectly so the plasterers don't moan when they have to skim over it. And for the moment of truth, does this oval trunking fit inside the chase? Look at that, I think it's perfect. There's a couple of mil there for where they can skim over. That, yeah, nothing I could do about that. There's some reason there's a decent bit of metal in there, but the rest of the chase is perfect. That's going to fit in there spot on. Now to get the wires in, and what I've done, I've just drilled through that joist at an angle so I can get the 2.5 cable up and up to that double socket. This chimney breast is getting boarded over anyway, because I wouldn't recommend putting a TV on the chimney breast if there was going to be a fireplace in there. There's not going to be. So that's a good idea to mention, sort of thing, because you don't want the fireplace to be in there and it'll melt the TV once that fire's going, because obviously heat rises and it'll ruin your TV. I don't get it. There's no point in people putting the TV above a fireplace. So I recommend not doing that. But in this case, that's all getting boarded over. So I thought, fine, I will put the double socket on there. And this is where I've got to get it through the joist. It is a little bit fiddly. I didn't like it because I couldn't get right in to that second joist, because there was a plinth bit where the fireplace went. So I had to feed it in there, and sort of a bit of a tedious job to feed it in and then get the cable to pull it through so it's nice and neat, because the last thing you want to do is knock out the whole joist. That is what I didn't want to do. So I connected the other bit of cable, so to keep it on the ring main, onto that one with a bit of tape, and then just obviously give it a pull. Pulled it straight through. And that's how I got my two 2.5 cables up that'll go towards that new socket, and then obviously I can slide the oval trunking over it and fix it back to the wall. The other end, obviously, I'm going to wire it back to the double socket, and in this double socket, it's going to go straight to the wall. I was able to access it underneath these floorboards. I'm going to take one of the cables straight into the double socket, so I'll re-terminate in there, and one of the cables I'll take out and put inside of a JB. So then I'll just JB it under the floor, because obviously it'll extend the ring. So one end of the 2.5 will go straight to the new socket, and the other one will come down and go into the JB. And that'll be perfect. But of course, we want something that's going to hold this this oval trunking in the chase. So what I'm doing here is just drilling a 5-5 hole in there with a red plug, and then I'm going to put some of the banding in. Because once I put the banding in, then I can bend it over to hold that trunking in place. It's just over a 2 metre bit of trunking, I think. So about 3 or 4 positions where they have that bit of steel banding to wrap around the trunking and hold it into place will be perfect. And what I'm using here is my little impact driver. You may maybe see me rave about these little arm egg bits that go onto your impact driver, and they do work well. I've never come across a bit of brick yet what these don't go into. They're spot on. And the banding that I'm using, it is black. It's sort of got a paint on it, which is fine. You can get it with just galvanised steel, but I'm just chopping it with my side cutters. A pair of Nipex side cutters, just spot on to chop it to size. So I'm going to cut out 3 or 4, I think I've got 4 pieces where I need to fix it to the chase in there, and I'll just do this with a screw, put it straight in so I can bend it round at a later date. And with this banding, all I'm going to do is put it in the centre hole. I think I counted out 5 holes, which I'm going to use to bend round, or 6 if you look in there. And then I'm just going to use one of the holes to fix it straight back nice and tight, because once you've put your impact in there and you've fixed that nice and level, then you can just perfectly slot your trunking in, which I'll show you. But first, I've got the tedious job of getting these two 2.5s level and straight, because the last thing you want to do is start shoving your oval conduit onto the cables, and you get down to the bottom and they're all twisted. So I started at the bottom, made sure they're level, so I can shove them in there nice and neat, and then when it eventually gets down to the bottom, they are sort of not tangled up and they don't have to cross over, because the less stress on the cables is always better, I think. So definitely make sure that they're nice and level and they go in there nice and straight, because it makes it easier for yourself to push them through as well. You don't have to put a wire to pull them through in there, like a chase wire sort of thing, or a draw wire. Because then once that's fed straight down there, that will be nice and protected inside that chase. And these 2 cables, I'm just going to feed straight through that 20mm hole. And there we go, it'll be spot on, straight into the socket. And that's exactly where I wanted it to be. So then once that oval trunking has got the cables in, I can fix it back. So what I'm going to do, it's a nice snug fit inside that chase. It's sort of, yeah, it's built for it. So all I want to do is put it inside the chase and then bend the banding over to hold it in position. It's not going to be something that's got to be held there forever. Once the plaster has done his job, it's going to hold it in position as well. So all I'm going to do is hammer it in to hold it in. So then when the plasterer comes along, he knows exactly what he's got to skim over. There is a couple of mil in there sort of thing, so he can bond it over and it will fit in there perfect. Once the plaster has been, you're never going to know it's even there. And now to fix the double knockout box onto the position. There's a massive hole I've done, maybe a bit too big, I know that, but it was me practicing with the chaser and the hole's a bit too big for it possibly, but it will do the trick. So I've got my little knockout inside the knockout box, and I've put a little 20mm grommet in there before I fix it, so I can fix it back nice and neat, and then the plaster will come along to do his job later on. So after my little trip to the van, I've got myself a double socket, because I'm going to have to second fix this now so I can get the sockets back on for the room. Got myself a JB where I'm going to connect to that into the floor, onto the ring main. And yeah, I had to go and get a load more grommets, because in my little pack I've run out. So I had to go down and get my little backup plan of grommets, 20mm grommets from the van. And it's not critical that it's spot on and level, but it makes your life easier later on. Stick a little level in there. I had to adjust it a little bit because there is some adjustment on the lugs on the knockout box. But the more precise you can get it when fixing it in, it makes your life easier if there's a little bit of adjustment out later on. You don't want to have to, well, leave it wonky basically because it'll look pants. So get your little level in there, put it inside the box to make sure that it's nice and level before you second fix. And then what I'm going to do at first is second fix, chop the cables down basically so I can get, I've got too much cables in there, so I'm going to chop them down. In this cable as well, I've run out of the Doncaster Earthshore, so I'm going to have to put a bit of sleeving on these cables to be able to second fix them. So that's my plan. And once that's second fixed, I've left it off the wall a little bit so the plasterers can get their muck behind it. And that's ready for them to do their bit. Because if I put it right back to the wall, they would have just plastered right up to it and not took it off. And then when I took it off, yeah, it would knock all the plaster off around it. Nice one, lads. So yeah, I've left it off a little bit and they're going to have to patch up around there as well, to be honest, because I need to pull my cable up into that. So once I disconnected that, made sure it was a ring, give it a little test again, joined onto one of the legs onto this, because this is going to be fixed in there, spot on, for the joint box. And there it goes up there and comes back, stays inside the ring, lovely and neat, all inside that trunking up the side of the wall. And there we go, we have a double socket, spot on, in the middle of the chimney breast.